All right, welcome to another episode of the Big O Show, and you guessed it, I'm the Big O. You know, hey, I done switched it up a little bit since the last time you see me. That's because I got a VIP in here, and I'm not talking about another elected official. You see what I'm saying? Hey, I'm talking about a VIP out in the entrepreneur space and the building generational wealth space, and getting it cracking space all together. Welcome to the Black Media Matters studio, Anzhane Slaughter. What's happening?
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so pumped to be here.
Yeah, no, I'm happy to have you here too. Now, you are the CEO and founder of Young Black Homeowners, right?
That's right.
So quickly, because I got some more questions about you and your journey and everything, but tell everybody, what is YBH?
Yeah, YBH is a real estate education company where we offer culturally relevant and trauma-informed homebuyer education. We know that education isn't all that we need to increase Black homeownership, so we also offer resources and navigators to walk our buyers and sellers throughout the whole process.
All right. Well, look at you. You had it all concise there, right? Okay. Now, looking at your bio, which is really impressive at a young age that you are, I'm a little bit older. Got the grades to show for it. Now, you originally had a career in law and government, right? That's kind of where you were rooted at. What was the catalyst that made you change into real estate?
Yeah, well, it's not that policy work is not effective, because we absolutely need agents of change in policy work. But for me, it was just a little too slow. I'm very passionate about my community. I'm very passionate about what's going to get us out of our existing environment into a better place. And wealth building in real estate is the way that I saw fit. Also, due to all of the many people that came before me, Dr. Claude Anderson and Dr. Carl Livingston, Dr. Quintar Taylor, they've all pushed through, the solution through wealth building. So it's taking a page out of their book, out of Dr. King's book, and bringing it to today.
So you standing on all the shoulders, huh?
Shoulders of giants, okay? You hear me?
All right, no, that's good stuff. And I mean, how long have you been in this industry, and how old is YBH?
Yeah, so I've been in real estate now 8 years. I'm a top producer in real estate.
Hold up.
Okay.
Run. It's like the DJ joint. Bring that joint back. Say what? Now,
absolutely. I'm a top producer, Remax realtor here in King and Pierce County. I've been in the industry now 8 years. Founded YBH after 4 years being in the industry, teaching the first-time homebuyer classes through the Washington State Housing and Finance Commission, and just wanted to take the education a step further and address trauma and history into that teaching. So through that spirit, I birthed YBH in 2022.
Right, and you see that she said Remax. So it was, it was like, yeah, it's Uncle Tony's. I'm number one at my cousin Tay Tay's real estate joint. I'm a top producer of real. Okay, I see you.
Absolutely.
All right, now you said it a few times here. You've mentioned culturally relevant and trauma-informed homebuyer education. See, that was so long. That's why I had to have these notes here. Culturally relevant and trauma-informed homebuyer education. Can you unpack that for us, and why the specific? Why is it specifically necessary for our community?
Absolutely. I mean, focusing on Black homeownership is so important for a few reasons. One, it's at a decline. It's been at a decline across the country since the 60s. Also, here within our state of Washington, we only make up 4% of the population here in the state, but our percentage is 15% less than the national average. Across the country, Black homeownership sits around 45%. Here in Washington State, it's around 30%. And we have such a small number, I don't believe that is proportionate to equity. And so that's the reason behind the focus. It's evident in the data that we need to be focusing on Black homeownership.
Right. And you see, I might need to get into selling houses so that way I can upgrade from my piece of paper to this nice heavy duty iPad. You know what I'm saying? I'm in the wrong business over here. You know what I'm saying? And Janae's just over there like, dude. I'm crinkling like, damn, where's the...
Hey, but we give back. We give back bigger sums than iPads, okay? We've helped over 30 families this year get into homeownership using various different assistance programs that have accumulated to over hundreds of thousands of dollars. So if you want to see, you like this iPad, I bet you like
cool.
the other resources we got.
I'll just take the iPad for now.
He's like,
All right, so let's shift into the market and to opportunity. Why does home ownership? I'm gonna just sit back and listen on this. I already know. Why does home ownership continue to be such a critical wealth building tool, particularly for Black families and future generations?
Yeah, well, it's not just for Black families. To be real estate has been the cornerstone of wealth building in America. You know, that's why our community, Black and brown communities, have been so excluded from the opportunity to purchase homes because it's such a driver for wealth building. So we're not reinventing the wheel here. We're just communicating it, sharing the information to our community in a way that can be received and then applied out there in real life. You know, we don't want to just talk at people. We want to give them the tools to be confident as they're purchasing a home.
Right. Mm-hmm. Now at YBH, you emphasize education over pressure. Why is that approach so important in communities that have been historically excluded?
That is a good question. You know, opportunity comes in windows. And so if you drag your feet, you can often miss opportunities. In fact, when we're talking with our home buyers on a regular basis, every day, you know, we are always hearing stories of people that wish they would have bought 10 years ago. They wish they would have bought 20 years ago. And now that they're sad that they're having to navigate the market that we're in today. So one, purchasing a home, getting the deal, getting the opportunity is going to come with pressure. But you're not going to feel that pressure so heavily if you're educated. When you're educated about the process, you're not walking in the dark. You're not going to face a surprise. This is not your birthday. You shouldn't be surprised. You should be well informed so that you're confident and you can point out the opportunity when you see it.
Right.
Absolutely.
Now, there's a lot of talk about affordability challenge. First of all, I mean, before you even get to buying a house, there's lots of challenges around affordability, right, especially in this city.
Right.
Dog, everything is so, man.
It's so expensive.
Everything's expensive. But there's a lot of talk about affordability challenges. Where are you actually seeing opportunities for buyers right now that might not exist a few years from now?
Yeah, well, affordability is exactly why we need to get into home ownership. We have to get into ownership because our jobs are not going to pay us enough to keep up with the cost of living of everything around us. And when we don't own our spaces, when we don't own our communities, then we're displaced from them. And we know that very personally, being natives to Seattle. We're displaced from our areas when we don't own them, which is why we have to get into ownership. And today is the best time to be buying in our market if you are, especially if you're a Washingtonian, if your family has been here prior to 1968, we have the most opportunity to purchase due to all of the down payment assistance programs that are out there. So that's really helping a select group of people with that affordability issue. And it's not just, on the assistance side. We also see it on the development side too. There are more affordable ownership options that are coming to the scene that YBH and some of our partners are connecting with to share information with community because there is a true power even within some wealthy people that want to do something about this affordability issue, that have money to back up and create some solutions.
All right, good stuff. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take our first break. And when we come back, we're going to talk about the money. Where's the money at? You're watching The Big O Show.
Treat your loved ones with your favorite holiday tradition, the Nutcracker. Performed by PNB's incredible company of dancers to the live magic of the PNB Orchestra at Seattle Center's McCaw Hall. For tickets, visit pnb.org.
Like a warm cup of tea, coffee, or your favorite bowl of soup, Washington Health Plan Finder is here for you. Whether you're exploring your options or need help finding a health insurance plan that meets your needs, you can count on us. Visit wahealthplanfinder.org today. Open enrollment begins November 1st and ends January 15th, 2026.
All right, welcome back to the Big O Show. Thank you, Mr. Director Eric Calligraphy over there. This is what happens when we be kicking it on commercial break, huh?
Right.
He comes back, he's like, oh, man, it's back. I'm like, oh. All right, so listen, we're going to talk about the money. First, we're going to talk about maybe some existing barriers that were there and now the money opportunity. So let's talk about the home covenant loan.
Okay.
Who qualifies for this, and how does it directly address historic housing discrimination?
Absolutely. So the home covenant loan actually came out of legislation that passed on our state level between our Senate and House of Representatives back in 2023. They passed a bill to address the harms done by racial-based covenants here in Washington State, because it's a fact that our judicial system, our courts, upheld these racist contracts between neighbors that said you cannot sell your home to someone that's Black, Latinx, Native American, Pacific Islander, or Korean. So here we are, 50 plus years later, doing something about this issue that has on paper proven to exclude people from their wealth building opportunities. And the way that our government found fit to address this harm was through down payment assistance. And that down payment assistance now actually can be forgiven, which makes this already historic program even more powerful, because families that make under 80% the area median income of the area that they're purchasing their home, if they live in that house for 5 years, they don't even have to pay the money back. So to give you an idea, what is 80% of the area median income? Well, 100% of King County's area median income is $157,800 right now. That's the 100%. So 80% of that probably fall around 120,000. If you make, in your household, make under 120,000 a year, then you don't even, and you purchase a home using covenant, you live in there for 5 years, you do not have to pay the 20% down plus the closing costs that was afforded to you through that program. And 20% could be 80,000, 100,000. That's free equity in your pocket on top of what's naturally going to happen when that home appreciates in our very high appreciative market.
Right.
So it's historic. We're the only state in the country that has this program. If you still qualify, if you make up to 120%. So our state also made this bill even more accessible to families, because they don't want to burden people that make good money, because we live in an expensive area. We were just talking about the rent, the cost of living, childcare, all the things. It's expensive. Now you can qualify if you make up to 120% area median income. So that means if you make almost $200,000, $188,000 a year in King County, you can qualify for 20% down plus closing costs. Those dollars, if you make that much money, you do have to pay them back, but the beauty is all of the payments are deferred. So you're not making monthly payments. And this is a zero interest loan. So the amount that you borrow is the amount that you have to pay back. And when do you pay it back? Well, only when you go to sell your home, refinance it, or pay off your 30-year mortgage. So essentially, you're able to purchase a home with no money out of pocket, with 20% down, which is going to give you the lowest monthly payment that you could ever have, and the ability to grow and build wealth, all with $0 out of pocket. This just does not happen anywhere. We want covenant across the country, because we know that there are communities deserving of their wealth back. I mean, how do you really quantify the number, right, when we talk about addressing the harm? But Washington State is doing a fantastic job leading the way, and this is how we're doing it. Huge shout out to our Legislative Black Caucus. Huge shout out to Representative Jamila Taylor. Huge shout out to the Washington State Housing and Financing Commission, who's actually operating these funds, and everybody within the state agencies to keep this program going. Because I'll tell you, Black and brown people make the least amount of money in our state. There was a study that was done recently that showed from right here in King County that Black households make on average about $65,000 annually, while our counterparts make $126,000 annually. Well, if we have occupational segregation, if we have an income disparity like that, then that means Black people can qualify for half the amount of a home loan than our white counterparts, which means that they need more resources just to play the same game, just to be able to purchase. And this isn't just in King County. Believe me, our people are getting priced out of Pierce County. The average home price in Pierce County is over $580,000 now. That's almost 120% more than what it was 10 years ago. And that's only because of the demand of people that have been moving here and affordability. More people have to go south because that's just what they can afford. And it's bringing our people that are Washingtonians that have been here forever, that have historically gotten the worst jobs, at the bottom of the affordability graph, which is why we need these programs just to close the gap to make homeownership even possible for us today. But if you thought about buying, you want to buy, you didn't think that you could afford it, believe me, you can afford it now. For sure. If you're of color, if your family, and when I say family, it's your parents, grandparents, or great-grandparents, on your maternal or paternal side, it doesn't matter. They have to have been in Washington State. They didn't have to be born here. They could have came here in military. The state is using all types of records to locate and stamp, timestamp our family's lineage so that we can qualify. But now is the time. It's affordable, and your payment is likely less than your rent right now with this type of program.
First of all, you know a lot about this program.
This is my business. I got to know about this program. Come on. And I got to know about the market. This is what we do every day, full time.
I can see. From A to Z on it. It's like, this is how it's going down. You see what I'm saying?
Are we ready for the mic drop?
No. So I was just thinking, like, man, Eric, bro, man, we definitely qualify for every program.
Man, y'all better get on it.
Hey, listen,
y'all better get on it.
Especially when it says if you don't make a lot of money,
For real.
I'm on a qualification scale on that.
Especially if you don't have a large family. If it's just
Right.
yours, small, you need just a smaller space, and you want to live in the city. Condos is a silver lining right now. There are affordable condos still within Seattle, within King County. And we actually have some partners over at Homestead that are
Homestead.
developing more affordable ownership-based model condos, flats, coming up right here in Seattle.
So you've done an exquisite, in-depth, diligent, and a very elaborate job in explaining that program. However, the big question out there is, and let me even refer to my notes because I don't have an iPad. Many people assume the down payment assistance, bread, YOLA, scratch, cheddar, feta is gone.
Man, I'm glad you bring this up because I'm here to set the record straight, to silence the noise that's out there. This program, the Home Covenant Loan, is not gone. In fact, there's $75 to $100 million being contributed to this fund annually through a real estate fee. So every transaction that closes in Washington State has an additional $100 recording fee that helps stabilize this covenant loan program and fund. So no matter who closes a transaction, whether it's commercial, residential, every time there's a real estate transaction that closes here in Washington State, $100 is going back to that pot to help sustain the home covenant loan. And that's how we're anticipating the $75 to $100 million annually. So there's a lot of money. This pot is sustainable. The only thing that would close or shut down the program would be an overture of the legislation, which would take a huge effort from our elected officials to do, because this bill passed almost unanimously across the House and Senate.
They sitting down there on a super majority, by the way.
Yeah, we got the largest legislative black caucus in the country.
It's almost, I won't get off topic here, but it's almost performative sometimes watching the legislature because they got a super majority. Mm-hmm. They can pass anything they want to anyway. Mm-hmm. Anyway,
this is the time.
We'll talk about Olympia in another show. All right. So, a very studied person like yourself, You know, I would see you had some charts and figures over there. I had to go and look and see what's going on. I'm like, man, she over there playing Candy Crush. You know what I'm saying? But just Excel spreadsheets and all kinds of stuff over there.
In case you wanted to ask me about some numbers. We can talk data, we can talk numbers.
Let's talk about the forecast, which also, you know, it might be a sense of urgency here.
Yeah.
Now, so you've identified 2025, which is almost gone, 2026 as critical window. How do interest rates, housing supply, and buyer demand shape the time frame, and why is it important?
Yeah, so going into 2026, we really have to take a look at 2025. And this year was a great year for buyers. We saw inventory kind of starting to stack up on top of itself, which gave buyers more leverage, more opportunity to negotiate closing costs, seller concessions. I was getting clients brand new roofs this year, $30,000 in closing costs paid by sellers. We saw a lot more price corrections because the market sellers had to meet buyers where they were at because of affordability. You know, we're still recovering from the interest hikes that came during COVID, right? I mean, the market was still adjusting to that here in 2025. And it's looking forward in 26, it's looking like interest rates are still gonna be sitting around the same where it's at, which means sellers can't, you know, overprice their homes. This is not the time, sellers, to be just throwing any price out there. If you wanna sell your home quickly, you got to price it right, and you do need to stage it. You need to do your repairs. You might even need to do some renovations, just because of the cost of money. A buyer coming in with a 6.5%, 7% interest rate doesn't want to pay luxury rental prices for a fixer-upper that needs a lot of work. Right? A lot of buyers will say, hey, I'd rather just keep renting until the market can settle. Well, the market has settled. Sellers are starting to understand that in order to get top dollar, they need to present a top dollar property, you know, asset. If not, then they're going to have to adjust their price and come down to buyers. And that's our opportunity to walk into some equity. You know, get yourself a fixer-upper if you can, if you have the contacts, the relationships to be able to do that, especially with the covenant when you're already walking into equity, because you don't have to pay back the 20% if you make under 80% AMI. And then maybe you paint, you updo the floors, you change out the appliances in the kitchen, maybe update the bathrooms, right? And now you're adding even more wealth. You're growing your money quicker, if you will. That's what adding value does to your home. So this is the time to do it. Who knows what will happen in 2027? There's still some possible risks for 2026. Who knows? Interest rates could go down. So, and that could change the story altogether.
That's kind of my next question. And
Yeah.
what's your advice for someone watching you saying, like, I'll just wait until things calm down?
Well, the thing, especially if you are I talk to a lot of people that do not want to leave King County. They do not even want to leave Seattle.
I don't want to leave downtown.
So you need to buy
I definitely don't want to leave the hood. You know what I'm saying?
The reality goes back to supply and demand. Everyone wants to stay in these areas, which is why we didn't see a price correction. Things didn't slow down as much in Seattle. The average home price in Seattle is over $1 million right now, and that's doubled over the last 10 years.
That's what you be checking in?
And it's
as
not
a top
slowing
producer?
down. No,
we
work a lot with first-time home buyers. No.
Oh,
We work with a lot.
That's nothing to be ashamed of or something. No. I'm not,
It's not a shame. It's not a shame at all.
$1 million homes. Hey.
I have a few $1 million homes
Okay,
under my budget, under my belt.
Talk that, all right.
But I will say the average home price that I've probably closed this year was probably $450,000, $500,000, and that's because we do work with a lot of first-time home buyers that make around $100,000, and that's all they can afford, even with the assistance that we're coming up to the table. But absolutely, I've closed some 1.2. During COVID, that's when everybody could afford crazy money.
We was on the Big O show, man. Talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Be comfortable in the Black Media Matters studio. Shine bright, star.
That's right. Well, best believe I have the negotiation skills, the relationships, the connections to make those transactions happen. It's just, with YBH, we don't often get that clientele. But our first-time home buyers become second-time home buyers. They become third-time home buyers. Mm-hmm. The reality is your first home's not your last home. It's a stepping stone for you to start building some wealth so that you can have a significant amount of money to buy the house that you actually really want to live in. So going back to your question about, what is somebody that's saying, let me wait? Well, our market is not slowing down in the sense where prices are going down, right? Prices are only going to continue to go up, especially in the highly sought after areas and in the right price points, because that's where the demand is. That's what the people want. So really, real estate and timing is all about your personal finances. It's about when you can afford to buy a home. It's about when your credit is good, and because it takes time to become mortgage ready, oftentimes we're building plans with our clients, with people that come through our workshops to get them even to approval stage, and those 2 years of building that credit, of keeping your income, of not having a late payment, when you have that history, you better go out and buy, because we know, especially as, if you're a first-generation homeowner or you're the only one in your house, you probably don't have a safety net when life be lifing. So when life has been calm and you've been able to, keep your credit up, keep your employment, you got a good job, for 2 years, right? That's the time to buy.
Yeah, so don't be out there messing up nobody's credit. You know who I'm talking to out there. You know what I'm saying? Especially this is the time of year these kind of things happen. Now, if you know they've been sitting there for 2 years in some workshop, getting their credit all together and everything, man, you know what I'm saying? Man, leave people alone. Hey, the people who get it, and they know what I'm talking about. They've been working on getting their house. Now leave them people alone. Let them get their credit and get into their career. And on the other
side of that too, if you're an authorized user on someone else's card and they haven't been making payments and they haven't been managing their credit well, get off of that, because it's hurting you, and that's a serious thing. We often say, become an authorized user on someone else's card so that it can help build your score. Well, that's only if the person that you're piggybacking off of is a responsible user of their credit. If not, then it's only impacting you. And I say that because I've had people that tell me, like, oh, shoot, that's why my credit won't go up, is because I know this person hasn't been paying down their utilization, right? Or they have a late payment. They're not making payments on time. So
you said you was gonna drop some gems. Cha-ching.
Cha-ching.
Hello,
there
okay.
we go.
Nah,
all right, that was my first one.
No, I mean,
first time we cashed at the bank.
No, I mean, you've done quite a few, but I didn't want to interrupt any of the soliloquies with my sound effects. But see, right there was the perfect opportunity.
There we go.
So I'll catch up on it. Ching, 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 ching.
Yes.
Now we're good. Look, we're going to take our last and final break. And when we come back, we're talking about impact, right?
Yes.
You're watching The Big O Show.
Pacific Northwest Ballet is thrilled to be back on stage with your favorite holiday tradition, the Nutcracker. Brighten your holidays with this timeless tale, performed by PNB's incredible company of dancers to the live magic of the PNB Orchestra, playing Tchaikovsky's classic score. Treat your loved ones to the Nutcracker at Seattle Center's McCaw Hall. For tickets, visit pnb.org.
Son of a Nutcracker. Join Buddy in Elf the Musical as he journeys from the North Pole to New York City with laughter, dazzling tap dancing, and the most holiday cheer. Elf the Musical runs November 28th through December 28th. Groups of 10 or more save big. Tickets at fifthavenue.org.
There he is. Well, welcome back to the Big O Show. I have so much fun here because my director, Eric Calligraphy, who I've been knowing since she was like a teenager, he ain't got no problem just what's this button do?
We love Eric.
But joined here by Anzhane Slaughter, CEO and founder of Young Black Homeowners, right? Top producer at Remax, you know what I'm saying? Educator of the masses,
yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
You're doing it all. We've talked a lot now about the market itself, what's going on, the time to buy. We talked about different programs. We talked about the Covenant program, what's happening there. We told people that if you a user on somebody else's credit card, you got to stay on top of them. But I want to circle back around now to Young Black Homeowners. And can you share a moment or success story that captures the impact of young Black homeowners and the impact it's having in community?
Absolutely. And there's so many to choose from. You know, this year alone, we've helped over 30 families get into housing with our partners over at African American Leadership Forum. I got a shout out to my mentor, Dawn Bennett, who is just a force to be reckoned with. She's a leader, always opening a door for other young entrepreneurs, young leaders to step through. You know, YBH, we wouldn't have had the opportunity to contract with the Department of Commerce, to be able to impact families in the way that we have through our $150,000 down payment assistance program, or our $25,000 grant, which was a debt reduction program, just paying off people's credit cards, paying off their debts. We were just paying off 25 student loans, $25,000. You get a check if they were purchasing a home. That's how important home ownership and just closing the gap is to us. And you know, it wouldn't be possible without our partners over at ALF. So shout out to them. If I can just pinpoint one specific story, you know, and I'll keep the buyer nameless, but what this opportunity does with home ownership and affordability, it allows people space to breathe. Again, it allows people space to be with their families, to give back in their communities. Oftentimes, we're stuck in this rat race of capitalism where we can't take a day off. We can't help our kids if our kids are having a mental health break, because we know that we have these bills that we have to pay. We know we got childcare, we got a car that's about to go out that we have to take care of. Well, with our programs, we have allowed people to save monthly. I mean, we're helping people 2-bedroom, 2-bath, nice townhouses, you know, $1,200 a month. You own the home, you know. So one thing that really stuck with me is on closing day, we do a big celebration, keys, gifts, the whole nine. We show up in person with our buyers, and we, you know, have this key ceremony. And in that exchange, she was saying, you know, I really hate my job. My job has been mistreating me for years, and it's to a point where it's impacting my health. And I've been wanting to step out and find something that fuels me because of my passion. I've been wanting to find an outlet, but I knew my kids needed me. I could not. So she cried and broke down in that moment, because she said, I know that I have enough saved where I can go 6 months and my mortgage is going to be paid. And that's enough time for me to help find another job that's going to help me get back into a better mental space so I can be here for my family and for my community. And that story reigns to me no matter how tough the day is, you know, how hard the client is, because, you know, we are human and often trauma-informed. So, you know, there's challenges, but it's not just about wealth building. It's about living. It's not just trying to survive. It's about giving us the opportunity to thrive and just the space to breathe. So.
All right.
Yeah.
Hey, I can dig that. So I need to get my 6 months up like that.
Come on, you can do it.
This job be impacting my health too.
Stop it. You love what you do. Don't play.
That was a good takeaway there. All right. So now we want to talk about the Black Equity Masquerade Ball. I got a little surprise for you.
Oh.
Yeah. So we've actually got the segment, the story from the last ball that Besa Gordon was the host, and it actually aired on her show, Back to Besa. Yes. We'll play it right now.
Hey guys, Besa Gordon here. Right now we are at the Sheraton 4 Points SeaTac Airport, and dude, we are at the 3rd annual Young Equity Ball. This event is so important because as someone that's actually from the Central District, my family was moved out, we ended up moving to the South End, and an event like this inspires the next generation of homeowners to know that they can come back. They can be homeowners too. And also, let me tell you something. We're giving out prizes tonight. You already know we're eating good. I don't go anywhere without food. But more so, at the end of the day, this is all about celebrating Black homeowners and aspiring new Black homeowners. And I happen to be your illustrious host of the night. So let's head inside and see what's going down.
This is really important because, you know, it's just a positive outlook on African-American home ownership, and also just like the youth, like just uplifting young people to show them that, you know, it's never too soon to buy your first home, and it's just the right way to do it, and then just networking with the right people that can put you into your dream home.
I think the most important thing is for folks to understand that it is accessible. I know oftentimes because we have such high rents everywhere, such high prices for everything, it does seem unattainable. And then also it's like, how soon can I get to it? So I think when you learn, when you get access, when you get educated, then you can change your mindset about home ownership and about closing that racial wealth gap. Unless you do that, it's impossible. And as far as some of the resources that are out here, oh my goodness, there are tons of resources. Down payment assistance. We have a program to help people with their credit. We have different folks that are helping people pay down some of the things that's on their credit report to help them get closer to home ownership. So the community reinvestment program, that's where all of those benefits, those assets, those resources, there are loans, there are grants, there are matching savings accounts. Like there's so many resources out here, but we have to be tapped into those resources.
It's all about your quality of life. It's foundational to wealth building. It's the #1 way to build wealth in this country. So if you want to be able to start your own business, you want to be able to send your kids off to college without going a whole bunch of debt, you want to be able to travel without putting in a 2-week notice or without only having 2 weeks to travel, you can do that through the equity in your home. And that's what's beautiful. This is only the beginning, okay? We're doing this every year, and every year it gets a little bit bigger. I can't wait to see what happens next year, 2026.
Washington State has a lot of good resources here to help you in order to be a homeowner, and utilize them. Reach out to people. If you see someone who is a realtor online or trying to sell you a home, ask them more questions. Don't be afraid to ask questions. That's literally what they're there for, and it's pivotal to being a homeowner later on. The Black home ownership in Washington State is very low. We need to all work together to build that foundation for our families, for the people that we love, and it's definitely something that you should look into for sure.
We didn't talk about things like this in my table where I grew up. So I think if this is something that you're lacking within your home and within your community, it's important to be able to learn about generational wealth so that we break through those barriers and reach the ceiling.
We need to understand that this home ownership is the path to wealth, right? That's how we shrink this racial wealth gap, and that's how we actually get to the generational wealth.
We're talking about our $100,000 down payment assistance program. Urban League's in the hallway. They got money right now that they need to spend. Go to their tables after we have this toast. Okay, we're bridging the gap. We're removing the financial barriers to make homeownership possible.
All right, you guys, that was this year's Young Black Equity Ball. Like I said, this was the 3rd annual time that we are doing this, and I'm so happy that not only was I able to attend, but I was able to be the amazing event host for tonight. So look, make sure that you guys are staying tuned to see what Young Black Homeowners is doing next. This is not the only thing. They are year-around making sure that we are aspiring African Americans within the greater Seattle area to become homeowners, and not only aspiring, but making sure that we all know that we can do it. So definitely tap in. Don't miss it next year. But also, y'all know I'm always hungry, so I'm gonna go eat the rest of my food because, as a host, you don't really get to eat. It is what it is. But I had a great time, okay? See y'all soon.
So, yeah, I'm feeling kind of left out. I mean, the story was nice. The video was nice. You see bases in there, popping it. Nice ball. Only thing missing was me, though.
Omari, now we would be honored to have you at our upcoming Black Equity Masquerade
I don't go nowhere without
Ball.
Eric.
Oh, you and Eric, okay? Both of y'all honored VIP guests. We want you there.
You heard that? VIP fam?
Yeah, you heard me, and we don't give that out to anyone other than our title level sponsors. So believe me, we really do appreciate you guys and what you're doing in the community, just amplifying the work that people are doing on the ground, our stories, our voices. So we would be honored to have you in the space this year.
All right. So when is it, and where's it at, and how can people get tickets?
Okay, so our upcoming ball is going to take place February 28th. It's the last Saturday in February. We're closing out Black History Month. Starts at 7 p.m., go to about 11 o'clock. So it's an evening, formal, red carpet event at the Federal Way Performing Arts and Event Center. So right off of 320th and Federal Way, they just opened the new light rail station there. I don't advise, the weather in February if you want to hop on a train, but you can. Now we have the transportation to get you there. That's where it's going to take place.
Yeah, you're there. You got a suit? I mean, I gotta actually find some pants to go with this suit jacket.
Hey, you know.
I'm gonna work it out though. I'm gonna take you up on that.
Yeah,
you know
and there will be a cash prize for the best dress. So, think of it as an investment. Go and get that rental, and you might be able to get it paid.
Hey, listen, your boy know how to show up to the ball. It ain't often, but I'm gonna get my fresh together. Anjane.
Yes.
Is there anything else that you want to let us know?
Yeah, well, just a couple more things about the ball that makes it unique this year. It is a masquerade ball, so come with your masks. We will have some there that are done phenomenally by some local vendors if you forget one. Second thing is this year we're going to have a live podcast taping happening during the ball. So after we eat, you'll have the opportunity to either hang out on the dance floor or pop in and out to this live podcast taping, interviewed by the Blueprint Table Podcast. They're local Black entrepreneurs, real estate brokers. These are young men out here really revving up with the energy, coming with the facts, and here to interview our heavy hitters. We got Uplift, which is a local Black development company. They're helping people add DADUs and ADUs on their existing homes. They'll be interviewing with one of their clients that's a Black homeowner up here in the CD. We'll also have Homestead, shout out to them, of our partners over there, to come and talk about their affordable flats that are coming to Seattle under $250,000 for a brand new 2-bedroom, 1-bath condo in Seattle. Just is unheard of, and you can use Covenant to buy it. We'll also have some buyers that walk through the process. So if you yourself are aspiring to become a homeowner, we want you in the space because we're going to put everybody that you need to know in order to make your dream, your goal of homeownership possible right there at your fingertips. And then we'll also approach wellness from a different perspective when it comes to health and wellness, and what that wealth looks like and how that can be a benefit of homeownership. So this year's ball, every year we try to do something a little bit different. We're definitely going outside the box with this live podcast taping, but I think there'll be a little bit of something for everyone at this upcoming ball. So I want to share that. I also want to share that YBH is growing and that all of our clients, I can't help everybody. I mean, Black and brown people, we are the largest demographic of renters. So we are the largest demand of people that need homes. And I want to not only support families, but also professionals that are in the industry. So we're looking to grow at least 4 more educators that are also real estate professionals, to have access to our programming, access to our resources, to be navigators within our company. So we're growing in that way. So keep an eye out, follow us online, check out our website. You can buy your ticket for the Black Equity Ball on our website at youngblackhomeowners.net or on Eventbrite, whichever is more convenient for you. But you can also learn if you're a real estate professional looking to impact and educate community, you want to position yourself as an expert in community, come and be a YBH educator. Tap in. I am living proof that you can be a top producer doing good work and you can make good money at the same time.
Yeah, you heard it. Top producer. Be the #1 stunner.
Be the biggest.
One last thing then here. Is there any, and you can continue right there in that camera, is there any advice, like right now, if there's the one thing or the nugget, however it is?
Absolutely. Don't count yourself out. It's always easier. There's a lot of reasons to be negative. There's a million reasons to be negative, but it's a choice to be positive. And with that positivity comes action, comes connections. There's goals. There's people out there that want to help you. There's resources out there that are for you. There's opportunity. So get out of your head. Utilize those resources that are at your fingertips. Reach out to us. We're here and we want to help. We just need you to reach out and connect to these resources. But definitely the time is now, and we're here. We're here to fill the gap. So.
All right, good stuff. Anzhane Slaughter, #1 producer, #1 stunner, CEO, founder, yes. Young Black Homeowners. Thank you for taking the time today.
Thank you. Thank you.